for a moment. Who is the greatest fighter of all time? You might think Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Jackie Chan, or Bruce Lee, or perhaps one of the many UFC fighters that step into the octagon for each match.
You probably don't think about the name Miyamoto Musashi, one of the greatest swordsmen and fighters that ever lived.
Unless you've grown up in sort of some situation where you were in a combat sport like karate or kickboxing or what have you, you might not think of fighting as an art form, but to the true warrior, it is an art and it is all about strategy. So let's get into the 5 rings or the 5 steps that maybe might make you the next great warrior, or at least think like one. Imagine roaming the countrysides and cities in the 1600s in Japan, looking for an opponent or a rival that might match your strategy. Well, this is exactly what the author of the Book of 5 Rings did, pitting his skills against others in their school of thought. Now, his strategy can be broken into 5 steps, beginning with the ground book. Let's take a closer look. The skill and the virtue of a warrior lies in their ability to wield their weapon appropriately. The ground book is all about the mastery of one's weapon, whether it be a sword or other of the many weapons you can use in combat. Musashi hails from the Ichi school of strategy, and their belief is that it is a truth. When you sacrifice your life, you must make fullest use of your weaponry. It is false not to do so, and to die with a weapon yet undrawn. In other words, do not be caught off guard. In order to follow the way of the Ichi school of strategy, there are, of course, rules warriors must follow. There are 9 mentioned in the ground book, and they include: 1. Do not think dishonestly. 2. The way is in training. 3. Become acquainted with every art. 4. Know the ways of all professions. 5. Distinguish between gain and loss in worldly matters. 6. Develop intuitive judgment and understanding for everything. 7. Perceive those things that cannot be seen. 8. Pay attention even to trifles. And number 9, do nothing which is of no use. If you can get these basic principles down, you'll be well on your way to Book 2, the Water Book. Perhaps my favorite part of the Book of 5 Rings is the water book. Now, it has everything to do with looking the part. So this includes your gaze, your stance, and your footwork. All must be in alignment in order to match your opponent. He writes, adopt a stance with the head erect, neither hanging down, nor looking up, nor twisted. Your forehead and the space between your eyes should not be wrinkled. Do not roll your eyes nor allow them to blink, but slightly narrow them. With your features composed, keep the line of your nose straight with a feeling of a slightly flaring to your nostrils. All right, so look the part. Be fierce, be in control. Another one of my favorite parts is the fire book. That's right, bring the passion, the force, the drive to each match. Whether you fight 1, 5, or 10 men, one cannot profit from small techniques. All right, so he writes, hold down the pillow. not that pillow. What this means is that you do not allow your enemy's head to rise. Or in other words, you are suppressing their attacks and essentially leading them instead. The Wind Book. The Wind Book is all about knowing thy enemy. Not limit your fighting abilities to your strategies alone. Musashi writes, some of the world's greatest strategists are concerned only with sword fencing and limit their training to flourishing the long swords and carriage of the body. But dexterity alone is sufficient to win. This is not the essence of the way. The Book of Five Rings concludes with the void, or the illusionary nature of material things, that which is everything and nothing. In this realm, we can only rely on our intuition or our knowledge in order to figure out the best course of action. Your spirit settled. Accumulate practice day by day, hour by hour. Polish the twofold spirit, heart, and mind, and sharpen the twofold gaze, perception, and sight. When your spirit is not in the least clouded, when the clouds of bewilderment clear away, there is the true void. So what is the takeaway of the Book of Five Rings? My interpretation is that one man can take on many if they are well versed in their strategy, in their weaponry, and their bodily awareness. All right, so with these things in mind, make sure you check out the book and how it might make you a better strategist and thereby a better warrior. All right. Until next time, be happy and confident speakers and writers.